Hello everyone, and welcome to this year's State of the University Address. My name is Brandon Glenn, and I am the current president of the Student Government Association. This is my fourth and last year at Roosevelt, and I have been a member of the Student Government Association for 8 semesters now, as the chairman of campus life, secretary, or president. Over the duration of my time here, I have come to see our Roosevelt student body, faculty, and staff come together countless times, not just as individual parts of a university, but as a community. In the past year, a number of institutional changes and initiatives have been carried out by members of this community, which I am confident have allowed us to further grow and support each other as a whole. Within our own association, we have worked to better advocate for and represent our students by redrafting our constitution to simplify processes and be gender neutral, hosting open office hours so that students may speak to their representatives directly outside of meetings, and contributing student perspectives to administrative meetings to support the community which all of us in this room belong to. With these changes, we hope to have redeveloped a student government which actively adjusts to suit the needs of the students we are charged with representing, building a foundation upon which the students who come after us may succeed. As a collective, we have striven to provide more comprehensive services in the past year, which I am proud to say have had a positive impact on the lives of our students. In following our mission of shared governance and social justice, faculty and staff have worked with students to find out what the student body needs most throughout the year. Once just ideas from students or staff, a centralized learning commons, shower services, emergency housing, a career closet, and a food and toiletry pantry have come to fruition as essential services to our students, demonstrating the work that may be done not by just a group of students or staff, but as a community. This is perhaps our greatest asset as a university in fulfilling our mission of social justice. I hope that the work we've done this past year will set an example moving forward and translate into a brighter future for the university, which would not have been possible without the collective effort of all of our faculty, staff, and most importantly, the students to which Roosevelt is a home away from home. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the president of Roosevelt University, Dr. Malekzadeh, to the stage.
Thank you so much, Brendan. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest here today, Betty Glynn, who is the mother of Brendan, is here. Stand up, please. We were just negotiating whether or not we should allow Brendan to graduate this year. She said yes, I said no, we like him so much to remain the president of SGA for another 3-4 years. In fact, we can come up with tenuring him as a student. Well, that would be a first. But all kinds of graduate school is in the future for Brendan, so thank you so much. That was very well done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk a little bit about the university, bring you up to date on what has been happening this past year. This is my 4th State of the University address, and I'm really happy to report to you that every year our university is getting stronger and stronger. Before I start, I want to also recognize all of our trustees who may be here, public and faculty trustees, if you stand up for a second so you can be recognized. Thank you for being here. Now, for all of you who have heard the U.S. President deliver an annual State of the Union address, you know that it is customary for the President to declare that the State of the Union is strong during the address somewhere. So now we're 2 years into building a stronger Roosevelt plan, which at its heart is about improving our academic and financial plans. So I want to keep this in mind. We'll talk about academics, improving academics all the time, and also improving our financial situation all the time. So that would be the theme going through the brief remarks that I have here. We have a number of awards, we have some videos, and at the end we will have some time for Q&A. We know that a turnaround was possible when we started down this path. We focus on improving everything we do within the university so that we can get stronger. But also, it wasn't just words. It was your work that allowed us to improve every part of the university. I'm really grateful for everything that each and every one of you do every single day. So in looking across the rapidly changing landscape of higher education, I'll come back to that in a second, and also in considering the work we have done so diligently at Roosevelt, I'd suggest that not only is the state of our university strong, that it is getting stronger all the time. So over the next hour, we're going to show you exactly how we're doing that. 1, stronger academically, 2, stronger financially, and several other areas such as in student retention and student services, stronger in understanding the amazing students that we have here and how we can serve them, the faculty and staff better together. Now, uncommon strength has always been part of the Roosevelt DNA. From our very first days back in 1945, we needed and showed great strength, courage, and conviction. You can't show much more conviction than our original faculty, staff, and administration, and students who walked out collectively from Central YMCA College of Chicago based on principle. They had strength to counter the historical injustices of a higher education system that favored some at the expense of others. And I'm sure this reminds you of some certain recent examples, which we won't get into today. That strength was to always stand for those who might be forgotten in other places. Strength to preserve over 75 years of ups and downs, highs and lows, bountiful times and austere times. So in that respect, we're really not that different from any other organization. We just have to do better because our clientele of our students typically come in for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then they go on with their careers. So strength is a part of our mission, a university that started as a matter of pure principle, with no endowment, no library, and no friends in high places. From our very first days to more recent times, we always knew that our university was not about a building or 2 or 3 buildings. It was about building a better and stronger future for our community, our collective community. So yes, Roosevelt University, with its faculty, staff, trustees, and most of all its students, knows what it means to be strong in the face of adversity. So thank you again for being here today. We're excited to have you with us, and we're all made stronger by your presence. So now, for the first time, we have a new program, and that is the Inaugural Presidential Award for Social Justice. It took us 75 years to come up with this idea. But nobody said the President's office has all the good ideas. Here we are. The award is to recognize those that have gone above and beyond the call of duty. In their work as faculty, as students in the classroom, or staff members and administration. It is to honor those who have exemplified their ongoing commitment and demonstration of social justice within the classroom, workplace, and our community. So today we celebrate the leadership and accomplishments of the following award recipients for serving as advocates for change and a role model for all of us. So to help me present these awards, I'm asking the individuals who nominated the award winners to join me on stage, and we're going to do it one at a time. So to announce the first award, I would like to welcome Professor Marjorie Jolles, Director of the Honors Program, to join me on stage.
Hello. It is an honor to be here today to present the first presidential award winner for social justice, Malekzadeh Fruin. A senior in the Chicago College of Performing Arts Bachelor of Musical Arts Honors Program. Alex has been working throughout his time at Roosevelt to incorporate social justice goals into his curricular and co-curricular work. His coursework and honors thesis address the intersections of community development and the arts. Alex earned the Theodore Presser Undergraduate Scholarship in support of his senior year, and he also earned Make Music Chicago's James Wegging Memorial Internship and a Yamaha Fellowship to attend the Eastman School of Music Leadership Academy. As an inaugural member of the Obama Foundation Community Leadership Corps, Alex was immersed in 6 months of training geared toward understanding the systemic issues that underserved communities face, and how the arts leaders and cultural institutions can build bridges with these communities in culturally relevant and equitable ways.
I imagine Alex as not just a future leader in arts and community development, but a current leader in arts community development. The intersection of the arts with lifting communities up, involving communities.
Alex Fruin's thesis is dealing with the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion in large-scale performing arts ensembles. He wants to see ensembles in the 21st century that actually look like the communities that they serve. So he's sort of taking the Roosevelt mission and these historic ensembles and putting them into juxtaposition and asking questions about what we do with the process, what you do when you hire, when you build a mission, when you build a strategic plan.
I met Alex Fruin when he was a sophomore in high school. He came to sing for me. Alex is very intelligent. He works fiendishly.
He's taken advantage of everything, every single opportunity that we've had on campus. He's worked as a student ambassador for the admissions team. He's had the opportunity to have internships on and off campus. He's someone who's sort of like just thought through every aspect of how he can make the most out of his undergraduate time and has gone out and done it.
He very, very quickly volunteered with the Obama Foundation. All of the social justice things that he could possibly get into, he did.
Alex is in the honors program because he's in the Bachelor of Musical Arts degree program. When we were looking for students to join our honors advisory board, Alex volunteered to be on that. So he comes to those meetings full of ideas with how to shape the honors program from the student's point of view.
That level of energy, that level of enthusiasm, that level of willingness to take a lot of risks. We're in an incredibly competitive field, in a very competitive job market, and so it helps to have a student that sees opportunity and is willing to put himself out there.
He's the first person to stand up if he thinks something is wrong, and he fights for everybody.
He really makes a contribution everywhere he goes.
He's an amazing young man, and I think that obviously in the arts world, given the right breaks, that he could really make a difference.
Alex is an exemplary Roosevelt student who lives out our mission by directly connecting his education to his goals of community development. Please join me in welcoming Alex to the stage.
One more time, congratulations, Alex. Thank you for Professor Jolles. Okay. And now I would like to ask Jamar Orr Assistant Provost and Dean of Students to the podium to recognize our second award recipients. Jamar.
Good afternoon. It is my high honor and distinct privilege to be here today to present the second 2019 Presidential Award winners for social justice. The members of the Housing and Food Insecurity Task Force, Charity Seaborn, Pamela Thompson-Hill, and Hilde Deurte. These three women have led university initiatives to combat homelessness and hunger on campus by running the food pantry, emergency housing, and newly created career closet. These efforts have supported over 200 students on campus in only the first full year of operation. Our students who utilize these services face incredible obstacles on their journey to success. Charity, Pamela, and Hilde help to make their journeys a little less arduous by calling our mission into action.
Out of the Dean of Students office, we have a Students of Concern team, and we discuss students who are in crisis. That crisis may be mental health, personal issues, finances, things of that nature that may be impacting their ability to be successful at the university. And so from the data that we collected in that team, we realized that there were some trends. And we administered a survey on campus and had about 60% of students who participated in the survey identify homelessness and food insecurity as one of their major needs.
What evolved from this was a lot of different things. We connected with the Illinois Hunger Coalition to have a representative come to our campus once a month to help students apply for SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, where they could get benefits, considered a link card, to make purchases outside of the pantry.
After we created the Homelessness and Food Insecurity Task Force and established the pantry, we attended a few community professional developments at other universities addressing these same issues. And what we learned at those workshops was that students across the nation, across the state, are experiencing homelessness and food insecurity. And there's different creative ways that we could also address those needs, even though we aren't able to provide free housing. Additionally, at NEIU, they had a Dress for Success closet, and when we went, we actually saw that they had a very well-established place and shared that students really were responsive to that need. And so that was something that was also created here, seeking donations from faculty and staff for, clothes that maybe they no longer can fit or wear, or, some things go out of style. We deal with a lot of students that are in crisis. And I'm sure, as you all know, when your necessary needs, your Maslow hierarchy of needs, aren't being met, it's hard to be successful in the classroom. And so that's really why we provide these other initiatives to students. The emergency housing is also another service that we provide out of the Office of Residence Life. So students who, may be experiencing urgent homelessness for a short period of time, depending on their circumstances, they can have a room at no cost for that period of time approved by the office to kind of supplement them in their time of need.
One other small thing with the emergency housing, it was one small thing that we learned from one of the outreach sessions on another campus. We devised a to-go bag, and basically we supply it with items from the pantry, toiletry, toothbrush, toothpaste, t-shirts, in a bag, sweatpants for students who are using the emergency housing. They may be in crisis, they may not have a change of clothes for overnight. It's all connected in terms of the pantry, in terms of the SNAP outreach on our campus, in terms of the emergency housing, shower services, and now the career closet.
Social justice is the very best of who we are at Roosevelt, and it is shown no clearer than in the efforts that Charity, Pamela, and Hilde do on a daily basis to feed, house, and clothe students who would otherwise go without. At this time, I'd like to ask Hilde, Charity, and Pamela to the stage to receive their awards.
One more round of applause, please. Thank you, Jamar, for nominating them. Now, the thing that you hear during the proceedings is, when you're in a bar and people give $20, they ring a bell and so forth. So every time that bingo is on, I think Advancement gets $100,000. Either that or somebody's getting online, so I'll let you decide which one it is. Okay. Now, returning to our awards, again, we have another special group of people to be recognized here. So now I would like to ask Tom Kernan, Assistant Professor of Music History, to the podium to recognize our final award recipients. Tom?
It's an honor to be here today to present the third and final Presidential Award winners for social justice to members of the CCPA Music Conservatory for the Considering Matthew Shepard Residency, Concert, and Lecture Series. Cheryl Frazes-Hill, Mark Creighton, Linda Vernon, Allegra Montanari, Agnes Springer, Elizabeth Susternai, Laura Baumgartner, Brittany Nelson, and Andrew Spiegel. This program provided students and the community with transformative experiential learning opportunities while highlighting how the arts serve as a catalyst for social change. The involvement of these individuals extended beyond the classroom, engaging students in ongoing conversations regarding the emotional, physical, and societal impact of violence within the LGBTQA community.
How I love the stage, how I love the stage, how I love the stage, how I love such an ordinary boy living ordinary days, leading an ordinary life so worth living.
The story of Matthew Shepard was put to music because the composer, Craig Hella Johnson, was extremely emotionally affected by the murder of Matthew Shepard almost 20 years ago, and had always been thinking about Matthew and what he could do as an artist to commemorate Matthew's life. It's been a real gift for Roosevelt to be able to do this with a full orchestra at this point. I think we've got to be one of the first universities to be doing it.
Interestingly, many of the performers of this show were not born when Matthew was murdered. So a part of the learning experience was teaching them about Matthew Shepard and how that this galvanized the LGBTQ community into fighting for hate crime legislation.
Matthew attended a meeting of the University of Wyoming Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Association, then joined others for coffee at the College Inn. Around 10:30, he went to the Fireside Bar, where he later met Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson. Near midnight, they drove him to a remote area, tied him to a split-rail fence, beat him horribly, and left him to die.
The side effect of this has been their now reborn involvement in politics. So this re-energized them and let them know that their generation can change this. These kids now feel this, they get it. And it takes 30 people impassioned for something like this, they can change the world. And that's what I hope they do.
This program and performance perfectly displays the Music Conservatory's commitment to providing an innovative and immersive performing arts education, grounded in the university's social justice mission. At this time, I'd like to ask Cheryl, Mark, Linda, Allegra, Abby, Elizabeth, Laura, and Brittany to join me in front of the stage.
was fortunate to attend one of the performances, and I was at the edge of my seat for 90 minutes as the faculty, and through their inspiration, the students were performing for 90 minutes non-stop, over 30 students on the stage rotating and performing. It was just absolutely phenomenal. Thank you again for your good work. Thank you.
Our office is working on a lot of initiatives. There's no two ways about that. But some of the key initiatives really are choosing the right programs moving forward, having a strong process so that what we offer, the portfolio of programs, is attractive to people, and making sure that when we start a program that we're starting it resourced. Another initiative is to continue to develop online, and that's really, I have to thank Niraj's team, because they've done the online teaching academy so well that people keep signing up. It's important for us to have online courses, hybrid courses, because this is what's going to make us attractive and accessible to adult students, and especially to our corporate partners, so that employees at places where we've developed these partnerships see us as something very viable and that they can fit into their lives in order to complete degrees or get graduate degrees.
As I already mentioned, the landscape of higher education is changing and becoming more uncertain. We have for-profit universities, including some in Chicago, closing. We have very small liberal arts colleges across the nation that have around 400 or 500 students closing. And we have also mega universities starting out, and having hundreds of thousands of students signing up and so forth. Also, high school demographics are evolving in our market significantly, and new competitors are emerging locally and nationally, and government support keeps going down. And we might be one of the few nations in the world that will start disinvesting in higher education, while the other nations are aspiring to have a higher ed industry, if you will, similar to the United States. We have 50% of Illinois high school students leaving the state to other states to study. Think about that for a minute. 50% of best and brightest leaving the state, which means wherever they go to get their degrees, chances are the majority will stay and have families there, go to work there, and occasionally come and visit us. So that's a major loss of the future for us in Illinois. And it's not something that one person can resolve, but certainly all of us within our community, and talking to our legislators and governor and mayor and everybody else about the policies that will keep our students here in the state. But what we can do amidst all this uncertainty is, as the provost mentioned, continuously look to innovate and enhance our academic programs so that we have flexible and available academic programs for the emerging needs of our students. And then second, we must improve our market presence while building stronger partnerships with Chicago area community of businesses, nonprofits, government, and so on. I'll go through a few examples of these new programs because they are just amazing. So in responding to the market needs, our faculty, specifically Eric Berkowitz and fellow colleague Ming Yu, who's the new Robert Minor Chair of Computer Science, and their colleagues designed a new bachelor's degree in cyber and information security. They sense that it's the right time for us to offer this program and it seems like the world agrees. In fact, this program has already been recognized by the National Security Agency and the Department of Homeland Security as a center of academic excellence in cyber defense. We know this issue is going to become more prevalent as we go forward. Students graduating in this field will seek meaningful employment in tech areas such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, information technology, as well as innovative startups. I'm excited to announce that this fall, we will launch a new master's degree in this field, the Master of Science in Cybersecurity and Information Assurance. It is a new program, and it's programs like these that will meet the specific needs of the market, as well as cybersecurity in a fast-growing industry. Another fast-growing industry is the health sciences, designed by an interdisciplinary team of faculty, including Professors Lavon Downing, Kelly Wentz-Hunter, and Catherine Campbell. And now, under the direction of Professor Tia Long, the new bachelor's degree program in health science administration will address the fast-growing market demand in this area. Now let's turn our attention to the video for a second.
We have a number of things in the pipeline for next year, but this fall 2018, we launched two programs that we're really excited about, both undergraduate degrees, one in health science administration and one in cyber and information security. And both of these are programs that we launched with significant consultation from outside communities. With health science administration, we talked with healthcare recruiters, we talked with our own hospital partners that we have through our allied health programs, and really got their feedback about what kinds of skills and knowledge and abilities they would be looking for people they would hire to work in their organizations. Based on that market research and the feedback we got from our partners, we tried to steer a middle way and develop this degree in health science administration that provides students with the technical skills they need to be successful in the workplace, skills in data informatics and in budgeting, but that also provides them with broader social contexts in public health and health disparities, so that they're trained not just to be effective administrators in healthcare settings, but to really be able to live out that Roosevelt mission of being socially conscious leaders in their communities and advocate for change in the work they find themselves doing. We think this is a degree that's going to be interesting to students who are interested in working in healthcare, but who either don't want to be involved with direct patient care or have some experiences that help them decide that direct patient care may not be for them. Also for students who are working in technical fields now, radiography, ultrasound therapy, and might want to complete their bachelor's degree so that they could move up in the workforce and into more kind of administrative and leadership positions.
So far we have collected $600,000. All right, now our new program initiatives continue across all colleges under the leadership of Dean Sabagi and Colette English-Dixon, who is the Executive Director of Marshall Bennett Institute of Real Estate. The Heller College of Business's newest program is a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in Real Estate. This will address a growing problem in the real estate industry, which is a lack of diverse students. Also within the College of Business, under the good work of Dr. Rafat Werner, Associate Professor of Finance and Accounting, the Master's Program in Accounting Forensics will now be offered fully online beginning in the fall of 2019. This program is one of very few select forensic accounting programs within the greater Chicago area. And the redesign will certainly attract students from a wider geographic footprint. One field that is changing fast, just as fast as higher ed, is the medical and healthcare field, of course. And here too, Roosevelt is in step with the times. The College of Pharmacy, under the leadership of Dean Melissa Hogan and Dr. Dana Singla, is finalizing plans to offer a joint PharmD and MBA program with the College of Business, with a goal of making it available to both new and current students starting this summer. So this dual degree program will allow students to complete both degrees in 3.5 years. And it will be the only pharmacy college in the Midwest to offer this format. It will enable graduates to be more competitive for positions as retail pharmacy managers with a pathway to further promotion. So congratulations to the team for doing this. So besides academic programs, I should mention the partnerships that we have. Now, Chair of the Math Department, Professor Melanie Powarsky, will disagree with me when I say 1 + 1 = 1, 2.2 or 3.5. But this is the reason for that, Melanie. When we combine the best programs within Roosevelt with best-in-class partners from the private sector and the non-for-profits, everyone benefits. So in this new role, Tom Fillion, Dean of the College of Education and Associate Provost for Strategic Initiatives, has been charged to develop new partnerships and new online programs. Let's hear a short video from Tom.
I think Roosevelt benefits from these partnerships in a couple different ways. One really important way is we're actually living out our mission, and we're providing programs of need to other institutions, other organizations in the city that are looking ways to grow either the quality or the quantity of what they're doing. And so for me, all of this work around partnerships is a real extension of the university's social justice mission and framework. I also think we're really helped by the visibility of our programming. As more and more people hear about unique programs that we're offering, they become more aware that we exist. We become an option for them to look at. And then I guess the last thing I would say, I really think it grows the reputation of the university. You know, historically, we've been a site for innovation, even courage. But it's really important for us to maintain that commitment and that reputation for being a place that's willing to try new approaches in order to solve really complex but really important problems in our society.
Under the leadership of Dean Tom Fillion, the College of Education and Chicago Public Schools have developed an ongoing partnership to provide continuing education to our Chicago area teachers. On February 6th, the College of Education was selected by the Chicago Public Schools as an exclusive partner to offer a new teacher residency program. This program will provide a year-long student teaching experience and extensive mentoring to current paraprofessionals and teaching assistants while they complete their coursework for early childhood or special ed licensure. So thank you, Tom, and your colleagues. In addition to the newly formed partnership with Illinois, we have a program with Illinois Empower, which is the College of Education is partnering with Mindful Practices, a research-based professional development organization to provide licensed teachers with classroom-proven strategies to promote purposeful classroom environment. Again, together, these two agreements guarantee over $200,000 of new revenue to the university. So about 2 of those beans that you've been hearing. So I'm pleased to also announce the creation of a new partnership between Healthcare Services Corporation, the parent company of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, and Roosevelt University. This is the first of many corporate partnerships that Roosevelt aims to create over the next 3 years, and provides It provides their employees significant tuition reduction upon earning admission to the university to any of our degree programs. Now, our trustee, Maurice Smith, a Roosevelt alum and president of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, played a key role in the development of the partnership, and we want to thank Trustee Smith for his efforts to get this program underway. I also want to thank Trustee Smith for his leadership on renewing the sponsorship by Blue Cross and Blue Shield for the American Dream Reconsidered Conference for the next 3 years. So stronger academically, we covered quite a bit in that area. Now, let's change our focus to stronger financially. So fiscal year 2019 is on track and within approved margins. And although summer revenue is not yet certain, we expect to end the current fiscal year at or better than the approved budget margin by the Board of Trustees. Now, there are many things driving or improving financial outlook, such as strong retention, stabilizing enrollment, improvement in operating expenses, the sale of Gage, and robust gains in housing and dining revenue, all of which keeps us on track to meet our multi-year plan. Now, with the recent debt restructure, this provides us 5 to 6 additional years so that we can keep building a stronger Roosevelt. So, again, stronger academically, stronger financially. Now, of course, we need to talk about every other area of the university that improves, and retention and student engagement is a major part of that. As many of you are aware, increased retention is absolutely critical as new student enrollment in helping Roosevelt achieve its financial goals. However, the institution's effort in achieving higher retention rates is about much more. It is about providing students the support they need to be successful during their time at Roosevelt and preparing them to thrive beyond Roosevelt.
The Office of Student Progress is an idea of putting together, for efficiency's sake, registration and advising, because a lot of what they do really intersects. And in terms of the technology involved and the use of the new EAB, Student Success Collaborative, it really made sense to bring them together. And then I had somebody who was so excellent, Alicia Butler, who was the director of advising, and she has done a superb job of having these two offices relate together, mesh together, and we already have the results. We've had, this fall, we had a 66% increase in walk-in student advising. We had, in terms of grad checks and grad applications, 30% increase in grad applications on time. From the registrar's office, we've had 24% increase in grades submitted before the deadline, which is very important for students. We've had a 20% increase in early alerts. That's where faculty, and I have to thank the faculty for that, where faculty are letting advising know we have an issue with this student, because we want to catch everybody and we want to provide them with the best services we can. It's really important that we provide our students with the professional development that's going to get them on the right pathway to a career of their choice. And I'm very pleased to say that we have somebody excellent in that position, Erin O'Neill, and she has done a survey. We need to expand and deepen those offerings so that students come out of here really having being able to show that they've done the kind of work that they're going to be required to do in the course of their first year on the job. The Office of Student Research, for example, really fits into this well, because the purpose of the office is to provide students professional development in the form of undergraduate research and graduate research. This is important for students going on to careers and going on to graduate school. So we're going to have the first university, all-university student research symposium, April 12th, April 13th. I'm very excited about the Office of Student Research.
So, while students are here making sure we keep track of their progress every semester, every week, or so, to make sure we can intervene to help them stay on track, get them professionally ready, and also, if they aspire to go to graduate school, be ready for that with some student research. Also, some of the statistics that Lois mentioned, I want to draw attention to that because it is significant. The first year retention rate for our new students have been now this year one of the highest in our history as far back as we can go. A remarkable 9% improvement in just 1 year for the freshman class. And over 2 years, 17% improvement in retention. So we're now at 74% retention for freshman class. Meanwhile, transfer students' retention has improved to 81%, and graduate retention has improved to 88%, respectively. Now, of course, we want to make sure we get to much higher numbers, but those are very respectable numbers, and we're doing our best to continue to do that. So part of what contributes to the success in these areas is intentional programming, like career and networking fair that just took place last week. So under the leadership of Jennifer Wonderly, students were able to network with employers, take professional headshots, and plan out their day with a guidebook and a map of employers. Jennifer mentioned that 100% of the employers showed up to the fair this year. She has promised 101% for next year. That's what she was telling me. Yes, please do better, Jennifer. I do want to thank Provost Lois Becker, Katrina Coakley, Mike Malley, and many other staff in the Provost office for these new and exciting initiatives that helps us keep our students on track. And the research symposium will be in early April. So in the classroom, taking care of the students while we're here. Now let's focus a little bit on the outside the classroom opportunities for our students. Last October, the proposal of 8 Roosevelt students were chosen to be presented at the 2018 Clinton Global Initiative University Conference at the University of Chicago. The conference featured 1,000 student leaders from across the globe on 5 focus areas. Our students were a major part of that. Next, nothing exemplifies our mission better than advocacy and volunteer service in the community. To that end, the pharmacy class of 2021 just recently completed 110 hours of volunteer work, serving at local nonprofits such as Feed My Starving Children, the Ronald McDonald House, the Chicago Greater Food Depository, and Family Shelter Services. So thank you so much for pharmacy students for this good work in our community. The Al Golden Fellowship, a newly created program, honors its namesake, who was a PR industry pioneer, Roosevelt alumnus, and long-time serving board of trustee member. 4 student fellows will attend industry events to foster postgraduate internships with Rouen and sponsor companies like McDonald's, in addition to being mentored by senior PR executives. So they're on their way to success. So all in all, these experiences are invaluable to our current students and to the university in general. Real world opportunities help our students prepare for the challenges they'll face after they graduate. And simultaneously, these students can be tremendous ambassadors for Roosevelt through the war. We are also stronger through our people. Every individual contributes to our U community in your own unique way and through teamwork with your colleagues. I want to recognize several departments whose work is felt but not seen. They're unsung heroes among us. They work each and every day, and they make us stronger with the community and the campus. So first, let me showcase campus safety. The safety and security of our community and our students is of utmost importance to all of us. We put great trust and confidence in our campus security team to keep us safe and out of harm's way. These staff members work long shifts over the course of several days and usually do not have the option to call in sick, regardless of weather. They are dependable, quick to respond, and show care and compassion to those in distress. I especially want to thank the security team for their service this past January during the extreme polar vortex. Who had heard of polar vortex until they showed up? This team showed up when most of us stayed home, and they assisted students and staff when we lost power. One time, that power loss was in the middle of the night. So I would like to introduce to you this time our new Director of Campus Safety, Officer Tony Parker. Tony, would you stand up, please? Tony, in a short period of time, has instituted various trainings and established new policies to keep our community safe. So please join me in welcoming Tony to Roosevelt and acknowledge his team members who are here today. Similar to the safety officers, the physical resources team has been on duty. Now, is it spring yet in Chicago? One never knows, and I'm not sure I believe it, as this winter has been one of the coldest and wettest in history. This past January, during the polar vortex, the physical resources team kept our facilities fully operational under weather extremes. With 2 fluke power outages, one in the middle of the night, Jeff DeBrizio and his team ensured the safety and well-being of our residents and communicated quickly and efficiently with ComEd to mitigate any risks. Let us thank Jeff and his team for all they do to keep our facilities up and running smoothly. Among our colleagues, is Todd still here, or did he leave?
He's gone. He left.
It was his last day here. We wanted to keep him until the last minute. But you know, joking aside, it was 55 below zero wind chill on that day, and we were informed by the team that power has gone out of Wabash And of course, Jamar is telling me that the students were having fun. Wow, this is cool. I said, yes, but it will be cold later on. But imagine the team working hard at that moment, and the ComEd folks as well, showing up, going underground, and making sure the power is fixed before it really becomes an emergency to all of us and the students, which is phenomenal. So thank you again for the job you do every day. A little bit on the arts and auditorium theater. The magnificent auditorium theater consistently impresses me with its world-class performances and programming, which brings thousands of visitors to our downtown campus throughout the year. Many of you may not know, but each summer, the theater hosts Hearts to Art program. It's a summer camp for young people who have experienced the death of a parent. This summer will mark the 15th year of this outstanding program. Also in April, the Auditorium Theater welcomes the American Ballet Theater, who will begin its four-year partnership with the theater. And in June of 2020, the theater will welcome the Bolshoi Ballet, returning to Chicago for the first time in 16 years, and the only Midwest stop in their United States tour. So will individuals who work on the auditorium theater please stand and be recognized who might be present. Rachel Freun is the interim CEO of the Auditorium Theater, and she just announced a new coming theaters program for this coming year. It looks absolutely outstanding, so please get on that website and see what she's able to bring to us. So many times when I ask or overhear individuals talking about the Roosevelt experience, there's a consistent theme: the people. The stories of faculty members assisting students with graduate school and fellowship applications. References to staff going above and beyond to help students overcome unexpected hurdles. And students building lifelong friendships with their peers, faculty, and staff that often last far beyond graduation. So video on the people of
Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Know when you walk into Roosevelt, you are the future of humanities. You are the future of social scientists. You are the future of education, and you are the future of business.
Roosevelt and their staff are really devoted to the social justice mission and just the mission of getting students the best education possible. I have not had one professor that wasn't devoted to his or her job. And being in a school where you see staff that are devoted and love this school, it only adds fuel to the fire, and you want to do great.
All these things that I never really thought were possible for me never existed until I got to Roosevelt. Before Roosevelt, I was a C community college kid who just needed to make more money than my parents did. That was the goal. And now it's not about just existing anymore. It's about finding a quality of life.
My teachers, because they hold high standards for me and they remind me of my goals and dreams, but they also, at the same time, they remind me to be patient, or to get sleep, or like they go outside of just what is required in the coursework. Like they really help me with life, and not just being a student, but with being a human being.
Being a first-gen student, me and my brother were the first people to actually, out of our family, to finish college. And it was really easy to get support from Roosevelt, whether that's the financial aid department, whether that's counseling, whether that's academic success. You always went out, when you needed help, they were there.
Just being able to interact with so many people from different parts of the world, seeing all these different backgrounds and religions and beliefs and values that are deeply rooted in these people here at Roosevelt has allowed me to touch with my personal upbringing, I guess, and make myself a better person.
We are so inclusive and we have built such a great community here at Roosevelt that I feel like it's easy for anyone to just say hey and build those friendships that you might not feel like you can build in other places.
We volunteer around the campus, city, country, and community, and we take our time out. And I'm a finance major. I had no exposure to social justice, and being at a school that has such purpose kind of makes you want to do things for your community.
The big reason why Roosevelt's amazing is just the innovation of the courses. You know, you can have a passion and we will help you find a way to tie that passion into a career, into a job, into a curriculum, into a course.
There are ways to take the issues that I care about and make them into my job and to help people, you know? I can use my life as an example for other people, and that's what Roosevelt has given me.
You're gonna find something that you haven't experienced before. This college, this campus, this family is gonna open your eyes to so many different things that you didn't realize, and they are so well equipped, they are so well trained to help you go through the rest of your life with the education and the skills that you'll pick up at this college. I can't imagine having gone to school anywhere else.
Thank you for changing my life, because I really do think being here it has completely changed who I am, and I'm just so grateful to say that I am a student at Roosevelt University. I'm just so very grateful for that opportunity.
So as you can see, as we conclude, there's a lot to celebrate at Roosevelt. We still have work to do and challenges ahead, and it's part of the challenges of higher ed. But we are encouraged by the momentum that has been generated by all of you. And success breeds success. So our academic programs and financial situation improves, we'll be able to attract more students and do more for them, for our faculty, and for our staff. So 2 years ago, we set out to build a stronger Roosevelt, and we got to work. Now you see the efforts, and I believe it's paying off in transforming our university. So yes, the state of our university is strong, and I hope that you agree that it is getting stronger every day. So thank you for coming today. We're going to move to question and answer. Before that, I do need to acknowledge a few people who put this program together. So the marketing and communication team of Nicole Barron, Amanda De Palma, Jared Fritz McCarthy, and Mark Shook in IT. And also Michael Ford, Keturah Brown, Angela Short, Aisha Belton, and Vanessa George, as well as many of the other staff, allowed us to be here today and hear what you heard from our students, faculty. It's taken months of preparation for this. So thank you all for that. So now we'll take questions. Since there are no questions, and here a question, either I have to walk to the microphone. Yes, Gina.
Surely you know that I would have a question.
Yes, please.
I just wondered if you could kind of off the cuff perhaps comment a bit on some of the recent statements from that other president that we all have to sort of address. Particularly this recent statement about freedom of speech at institutions, which I think that we exercise here in particular ways, you know, given our mission and so forth. But then also, the other thing that was a little bit buried, at least in the sort of mass media coverage as part of that statement, about expectations that institutions of higher learning begin to report on the income outcomes of specific programs within their institutions. And as someone who sits at the helm of one, humanities, where longitudinal studies are most beneficial in that regard, I wondered if you had any sense about the reporting, and I mean, obviously with our College of Performing Arts, that's another similar kind of issue, like students tend to be faring much better 10 years out, perhaps than they are, 1 year out of their degree and so forth. So it's a kind of long-winded question, but I just wondered if you could speak a little bit to how you see Roosevelt interfacing with this new world order.
Well, Professor Piccola, thank you for that easy question. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to answer the question. First of all, I cannot call a college or a university without an incredibly strong humanities program and program in arts and sciences. We have professional schools, that's fine, perfectly okay, perfectly legitimate, and students know to go there for specific professions. But what the faculty and the core of a university or a college is, and it's across the globe, is what you and your colleagues in the humanities and in the arts and in the science do every single day. Allow me to give you one example. Just a few years back, I was in Kansas, at Kansas State University. I was in an alumni program in New York City, and it was a large event, larger than this one. And as the president is talking, some deans are there and so forth. I was talking to one student, who happened to be right next to me, a young man who had graduated 5 years before that from Kansas State University, majoring in poli-sci and history. And within 15 minutes that we had a conversation, he blew me away with his knowledge of the entire Middle East. I'm from the Middle East, I thought I knew about it. This young man knew every leader of every parliament in every nation, and he painted it for me of how that will change in the next 5 or 10 years. And honestly, after a very brief conversation, I said, wow, the future is bright for all of our graduates. And it was 5 years out. So what we do, you see the result, okay? Professor Jolas sees the result, all of our deans, and as we walk the students, 1,500 of them every year in the auditorium theater, every single one of them, we know have the ability to succeed. Now, some of it would be shorter term, and they would get amazing positions right off the bat, and they're on their way. Great. But some will take 5 years and 10 years, or even 15 years down the road. I'll give you one more anecdote. A friend of mine, family friend, had a son who was completely dysfunctional. He was into drugs, he was into alcohol, and staying at home. And he was in his 40s. Okay? One day he called me, I was in another university, and he said, by the way, so-and-so has now been accepted into medical school. I just about died. Medical school. You told, basically he was homeless. He's living at home, and I said, yeah, but he got his life in order. Eventually he understood what he needs to do to pull himself out. Okay? And he had a previous life in sciences. Very, very bright individual, and so forth. And he went through medical school and succeeded. And each of you, I know, have those kind of stories to tell us. So as far as coming back to the federal government and statements from the president, first of all, the federal government can impose all kinds of rules for us. You cannot believe what we have to deal with on a weekly and monthly basis with these unfunded mandates. Okay? I know I'm saying that because businesses say that, and I say, oh, come on. All right? Again, one example. We hadn't refunded the students' student aid that had come in for a couple of students, and the total was maybe less than $1,000 because you are given 30 days to refund it back to the federal government when the student drops a course. Taking your course, she takes a class, then drops it in 3 weeks. We have a month to refund it. Sometimes we went 32 days. Okay? Because of that $1,000 mistake, we were put on probation. They sent us a list of hundreds of students' accounts that we need to send it back to them for them to audit. And our staff had to spend hundreds of hours. And they came back and said, oh yes, you're fine now. So move on. So I'm giving you a sense of that, to some extent it's great, because we don't want to misspend students' money, as Argosy just did, to the tune of, what, $13 million? They spent it on payroll. Okay? But in the grand scheme of things, we cannot allow it to micromanage our finances. Let me come back to the academic freedom. I feel very, very strongly that we all have the academic freedom to speak up. Okay? We will offend some people. So be it. Because if it doesn't happen here, I don't know where it might happen. If you're working for a certain organization out there, you need to park your opinions in the parking lot before you walk in. Okay? And again, I can give you specific examples of my colleagues who were fired in private organizations when they spoke up. Okay? Didn't like what somebody had said in the hierarchy, etc., etc. We are immune from that. And we should be immune from that. The statement that the president of my colleague at the University of Chicago put out there, I think was very apt. We have a freedom of speech. You have a freedom of speech in your classes, and we all have it in our classes. Sometimes we will offend our students, yes. But we stick to the approved curriculum, which is what AAUP says we should. We have a right to do that. And I will personally defend it until the day the board says enough. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Easier questions? Somebody wants to hear how I fixed the handle on my door today? See, there's a list of university essential employees who are called when emergencies happen. I have no idea why I get that call. Okay, I'll give you an example. I tried to open my office door the other day, and the handle fell off. And there was a little pin in there that fell down. So I said, I can do this. Got the pin, put it back in there, and so forth. Came back this week, and I tried to open the door. The door doesn't open this way. The door opens that way. So the extent of my essential employee, you can imagine. The higher you go, the less the intellectual ability to handle even opening the doors. Okay, other questions? Going once, going twice. And again, thank you for everything you do every single day. I'm really grateful.